The Scottish Greens are wholly committed to working with the Scottish Government and with other parties as we face the challenge of the coronavirus, and I very much appreciate the ongoing briefings provided by the Cabinet Secretary and the Chief Medical Officer at this very busy time. This week, the skies over Fife were ablaze from flaring at ExxonMobil's plant at Mossmorran. This light pollution affects communities up and down the east of Scotland, and for the people living in the shadow of this fossil fuel relic, their lives have been made a misery. NHS Fife has said that the plant has a direct impact on the health and well-being of people there. My colleague Mark Ruskell has repeatedly asked for ministers to visit the communities who are suffering, but the Scottish Government has refused. The Greens have also called for an independent inquiry into the future of Mossmorran. So will the First Minister finally agree to these simple requests, or is she too close to the fossil fuel industry to hold them to account?
First Minister.
I think this is a really serious situation, and I think the tone of that question probably doesn't do justice to the seriousness of it. Can I remind Alison Johnson that, as far as I understand it, SEPA, which is an independent regulatory body, is now focused on concluding an ongoing criminal investigation to an evidential standard and are continuing to scrutinise different actions. There are ongoing regulatory investigations, so that the combination of these things mean that it is incumbent on ministers to be very careful that we do not act in a way that could undermine that in any way, shape or form, or prejudice it in any way. It is not in any way that ministers are disinterested in this, but we want SEPA to be able to do its job and to be able to do its job properly. As I said to Annabel Ewing, who has been assiduous in raising this on behalf of her constituents, I am extremely concerned about the situation, and I understand the concerns of local residents. It's important that SEPA continues to take the action it thinks it's necessary, and it's important that the operator takes all necessary steps to reduce the impact on residents and address these concerns. And I hope that all members across the Chamber would accept the importance of allowing all of these processes to take place properly.
Alison Johnson.
With the greatest of respect, First Minister, expressing disappointment doesn't help people in this area sleep at night. It doesn't do justice to the seriousness of the situation. The First Minister mentions the Scottish Environment Protection Agency. Let me read SEPA's response. Having been clear that flaring must become the exception rather than routine, we're disappointed that flaring by ExxonMobil has occurred again. First Minister, our environmental regulator should be protecting our communities, not tweeting their disappointment from the sidelines. SEPA have issued warning after warning. They issued a final warning as long ago as April 2018. But the situation on the ground hasn't changed. You can go and visit this community, First Minister. Paul Wheelhouse has met with ExxonMobil to discuss the situation. The community are well aware of that. But either SEPA aren't up to the job of protecting our communities, or they don't have the powers to do so. Which is it, First Minister? And what will you do to end the misery this plant is still causing?
First Minister.
It's neither of those things. SEPA is taking action. It is right to take action, and it has a responsibility to ensure that local residents are properly protected. I would not be doing any good to local residents if we in any way acted in a prejudicial manner to the ongoing investigations, regulatory and/or criminal investigations that are underway there. My interest is in making sure this issue is addressed, that it is addressed properly and safely, and is addressed for the long term. And as First Minister, that's what I'm going to make sure the Government focuses on.
Thank you. We've got some further supplementary